Good morning. I wanted to use this opportunity to go ahead and introduce our new state command sergeant major to everybody. As a lot of you are tracking at this point, Sergeant Major David Munden is retired, and we had to go through the process of getting a backfill, a credible backfill for him. Basically, I had an opportunity to interview a number of credible folks. I believe each one of them would have served very well as our state command sergeant major, but I could only pick one, and in doing so, I ended up picking Command Sergeant Major Jesse Withers. And in doing so, I just wanted to give you my impression of Sergeant Major Withers. He and I have never had an opportunity to work together previously, but I've been able to sit down and speak with him. I've learned of his record, and basically some of the things that have really struck me and stick out with Sergeant Major Withers' service is that he served as a battalion CSM, he served as a brigade CSM, he served as a sergeant major on our G staff, he's deployed as a senior NCO, and for that level of experience, that's the type of person that I think we need, you need as our senior NCO in the Kentucky National Guard. You know, the environment that we operate in these days, much more is expected of us as guardsmen, whether it's in a domestic operations scenario and some of the recent events that we've been through. And oh, by the way, we're still deploying soldiers overseas. So for those sort of dynamics, much more is expected of us as guardsmen these days, and we need an appropriate state command sergeant major to lead us in that regard. And oh, by the way, I think a number of you are tracking, but since the majority of our force are M-Day or traditional guardsmen, Sergeant Major Withers has the background where I believe that he'll be able to relate to a number of our soldiers, the majority of our soldiers in our formations who that background as well. So that said, I'll turn it over to Sergeant Major Withers.
Sir, thank you for that great introduction. I just want to say I'm very humbled, first of all, to be selected as the next State Command Sergeant Major. And the individuals that the TAG had interviewed were all very deserving of the position, and all could very well easily fill this role, sir. So we have a strong NCO corps at the senior level, and I believe it will continue on. To give everyone a little bit of background information about myself, I grew up in Cynthiana, Kentucky. That is where I initially entered the Kentucky Army National Guard as a private with the Combat Charlie Company 201st Engineers as a combat engineer, 12 Bravo. I initially came in having the hopes and dreams of being a actual crew chief on aircraft, but my recruiter sold me on combat engineer with my friends and fellow high school graduates from Cynthiana, Kentucky. So I progressed throughout my career in Cynthiana up to the rank of E5, and then took a job as a recruiter, which was a very difficult job. So I have a little bit of experience in the recruiting background and understand what our recruiters go through out there as well, sir. And after that job was over, I also continued on with a little bit of time at the old G1. It was called Military Personnel Office back there in Milpo. I worked there for 2 years as an AGR before moving back to an M-Day position back in Cynthiana, Kentucky, to be a armored vehicle bridge crewman. And so I went back to M-Day and took a job also on my civilian side as a career firefighter in Paris, Kentucky. So once again, as always, with all traditional M-Day soldiers, my career led me through to a deployment with Noble Eagle back in 2002 through 2004. I got promoted to the rank of E7 at that time. And from there, basically my career took off, making my way to First Sergeant with Bravo Company 201st Engineers during Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. and then deployed in 2008, 2009 as the first sergeant of headquarters company 201st Engineer Battalion out of Ashland, Kentucky, and then went back to Cynthiana when we transferred over to a 149th Vertical Engineer Company. So I've got, backgrounds on both sides, both the combat and the construction side, as an engineer. And then got promoted back in 2010, August, standing on a little soccer field in Hohenfeld, Germany, to Battalion Command Sergeant Major of the 201st. So it was a great opportunity for me to, become that senior non-commissioned officer. So, and as that time progressed, I truly believed I had intentions of retiring when my time came to retire from the fire department. But leaders in the Kentucky National Guard, my commanding officers, as well as some other senior NCOs, once again encouraged me to stay around because they saw bigger and greater things for me and how I had an impact on the organization at the battalion level, and believed I could do the same at the brigade, and was promoted to the 149th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade Command Sergeant Major, and deployed back in 2016 through 2017 with the 149th Military Engagement Team, where we interacted with all of our CENTCOM allies and partners, doing military engagements to once again just build on those relationships and partnerships with them, and driving that RCENT message forward. So, and coming back from that deployment, once again had some thoughts of retirement and everything else, and Sergeant Major Munden encouraged me to once again stay around, and I was then moved to the G3 M-Day Command Sergeant Major or Staff Sergeant Major position. And then after my time there, once again, Sergeant Major Munden, one of my mentor throughout this whole process, encouraged me to apply for the State Command Sergeant Major position, and here I am today, sir. So, as much background as I can give about myself, that's it. And going forward, sir, some of my principles is let's always do the right thing. Let's think about what we're doing, the consequences that those actions have, and let's just always live those Army values and continue to do the right thing out there. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sir Ranger.